Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about the mark of the beast, which we all know the numbers are 666. But before I get into that, I really want to talk quickly about celebrities and the worshipping of celebrities and all of that. So I kind of want to quickly explain. Back in the days, obviously when I was a kid, I used to love my music and you know, all the 80s and 90s like music and all of that. But also as a kid, I used to go to church because I was raised as a Catholic. But to be honest, when I used to go to church, I didn't really understand why I was going to church. I was just brought to church by my parents, didn't really understand what I was doing there, to be honest. And I think a lot of kids who do go to church don't really understand the meaning of church, why they go to church and all of that, because it isn't really properly explained. As kids, we kind of don't even understand who God is and why we're kind of who he is and what he's about. We kind of don't understand any of that, and so that's why we kind of don't really understand why we go to church, because we don't know who God is. We don't have that relationship with God yet, because we're just children, you know. So the thing is that sorry about my glasses sliding, I think they're just a little bit too big. The thing is that when I used to go to church, I kind of felt a little bit like I kind of liked going there. I enjoyed being there because it kind of felt a bit like as if, you know I was in a holy place. So I kind of liked that feeling of being there and, you know, listening to what the priest was saying, the prayers, but I didn't understand who God was. I didn't understand my purpose of being there. But I do now, obviously, and I do understand who God is and all of that now. Learning about him and what it's, you know, what he's about. But the thing is, as I was getting older, then you kind of listen to all the music that I did then. I mean, I don't really listen to heavy metal or anything like that. I think some of the music you can listen to is very dark, depending on what you listen to. I don't like heavy metal because I do find it quite, I don't find it relaxing to listen to. I find it quite disturbing, to be honest. I'm sorry for the people who do love heavy metal. I just can't get into the music. I find it very aggressive. Like, I can't listen to music like that. I don't find it enjoyable. I do believe that some people who listen to certain music, I think that does have an impact and an influence to how you think, how it makes you feel. Music definitely does do that to you, depending on what kind of music you're listening to. So yeah, I try to stay away from things that are making me feel uncomfortable, or if it's just not, you know, if I just don't feel it's like connecting with me or my soul, and I find it very disturbing, then I just don't like to listen to it. I'll just stay away from it. And heavy metal really makes me feel like that. I know many people love it. I just can't. I just can't listen to it at all. So, and then you have singers, obviously, like Sam Smith, who, if you remember him back in the days, he was quite normal. I used to like his music. As time has gone on, and he would go on stage with all the red horns and, you know, the red cloak, symbolizing Satan. Okay, that's when I kind of don't listen to people like that anymore, because I think in the world of music, like, also if you're listening in the world of music, they can kind of change because of everything else that's going around them, or they feel like they need to kind of I can't really know how to put it into words, but they kind of feel like they need to be doing these things in order to follow the crowd, as if, you know, that's what I was trying to say. It's like they're just trying to follow the crowd and feel that they need to change in that way, because being normal is not going to get them famous enough or enough attention, right? And that's why I believe they do the stuff they do. So it's like if you watch Netflix, okay, I do watch some of the stuff on there. God's name in vain is used very frequently because it's a way to get you doing the exact same thing, right? So if you're using God's name in vain like they are, because we know that using God's name in vain, or you should know, is actually a sin, right, against God. And people who are on Netflix and these dramas, they are against God, obviously, because they are always using God's name in vain, right? Just like some music will also be the same. They will also be against God in many ways because of the language they use, the swearing, the cursing and all of that, which you may hear a lot in rapping. So yeah, you've got to really be careful what you're listening to. Okay, so I want to talk about the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, which we all know it as 666, right? So it's an unforgivable, literally mortal sin if you forsake the Lord by taking the mark of the Antichrist. You demonstrate that you love yourself, and this is more than God. Okay, you need to love God more than yourself. You need to love God. He needs to be first in everything in your life. He needs to be in your life. He needs to be in your household. He needs to be in your relationship, even with your partner. If you don't have God in your life can be very upside down. The way you think can be very destructive. So you need God in your life in order to help you, right, in your daily life. You know, if you don't have him in your daily life can be quite miserable, because you know, even like the constant rowing in the household can be quite destructive, and it can be quite disturbing. And this is why you need God in your life to know that how to be able to sort problems out in your life without feeling that you need to be raising your voice and shouting, and all of that isn't from God, okay? So this is why I'm talking about this today. The number 6 implies to imperfection. Often numbers are used as symbols in the Bible. 7 typically represents completeness or perfection. 6 being short of 7 can denote something incomplete or flawed in God's eyes, and can be associated with God's enemies. Okay, so in the number 7 means completion, perfection and divine, and completeness. It is associated with God's creative work, rest and covenant relationships. The number 7 appears frequently in both Old and New Testament, highlighting themes of wholeness, divine order and spiritual significance. Okay, so this is why I need to kind of say this today, because I think a lot of people struggle when they don't have God in their lives. They struggle. And I was watching this YouTube channel one day, and this woman was talking about Christ in her YouTube channel, and this she was explaining to him about heaven and hell, and he actually said that hell sounded a lot more fun than what heaven did. And I mean, if you think that hell sounds so much fun, right, that you would want to be there, I mean, literally, you know, I feel sorry for people like that. Not because, I think because they are a little bit lost when they can think of hell being a lot more fun than actually going to heaven. You know, I think these people are very lost in their life because obviously God's not in their life, so they don't know anything about him. They don't know what he's about, and you know, so they live in life without God, not even knowing. You know, it's kind of sad in a way because you know, if you read about hell in the Bible and what you are going to expect when you get there, if that's where you want to go, I mean, it's not a place I definitely wouldn't want to go to. You know, so, you know, I definitely wouldn't want to experience hell in any way, shape or form. You know, that's why, you know, we have to be spiritually, you know, we have to spiritually change our ways, and we have to be reborn in order to be saved. And you can only be reborn by having to change your ways. You cannot enter heaven just being the way you are and thinking that that's normal and okay. It's really not. Sorry, there's someone at my front door. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yes, as I was saying, that a lot of people, I do feel sorry for them because they need to come back to God, and they need to understand that having the lives they live in darkness and wanting to experience hell is no fun whatsoever. If you read about hell in the Bible and the you know, and what you're going to experience in hell is definitely not a place anyone would want to go. And you have to be spiritually reborn in order to be able to, you know, go to Christ and be able to enter heaven. You know, for example, if you want to carry on your life living in sin continuously without having to if you want to just live in sin and think that, oh, this is so much fun living in sin, it's fun for now, because you have to remember, whilst we are on earth, we are here temporarily. It's not a lifetime, and we're not here forever. We're just here for the short space of time until we are ready to go back to Christ. You know, and this is the problem, is that people are just, you know, because they're living their everyday lives, they're always busy, and, you know, they just don't put that time into, you know, having that relationship with Christ and stuff like that. But the thing is that it's really important to have him in your life. It really is. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out too long. I just want to say thank you for watching, and have a great day, and see you on my next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.